I am Varun Krishnan from Wave 4. I will be going to present a PPT on UI and UX design. So, I will be going to discuss about these topics: what is UX and UI, and the difference between UX and UI, and the tools used by the UX and UI designers for developing the designs, and the application where we can applications of UX and UI designs. So, let me move forward. So, let me begin with the basic definition of UX and UI. What is UX and UI? So, talking about UX, US stands for user experience. So, user experience designers. So, UX designers mainly focus on increasing the user time on a particular app and to increase the traffic of the website. So, the improving the means they improve the overall experience of the users when they interact with the applications or website in order to achieve its objective to provide the maximum customer satisfaction. And also, they keep customers in mind and creates the basic selection of any application, skeleton of any application. They mainly focus on wireframing an application and structuring and all its components and elements appropriately to create the user flow. So, what they telling in this point is it is a basic definition of user experience. So, I will tell in a short way. So, let me take our Pcon. So, in our Pcon, uh, there is a flow of content. For example, if a new user comes to use our Pcon, they have to first sign up. So they sign up. Then after that, they will log in into our Pcon. Then after that, they will verify their OTP and fill up their basic details like this. So the user experience that UX designers basically focus only on the contents and how they should go from step by step. For example, for an application, the sign up form will be the first, and they move to the login form and filling their basic details like this. So the UX designers basically uh, focus only on the flow of the applications or software. So UI stands for user interface. So interface designers are the designers who make a design of a website, but they don't write any code for their website. For example, let me take the website WhatsApp. So for the WhatsApp, the UI designers makes only the design, but they never write any code for that. So the coding part will be handled by the UI developers. So the UI designers keep the type of users they will have for a application and create the uh, design according to that. For example, if we go to the Byju's app, the Byju's app is particularly for children. So they have to design a website in a manner that will be easily handled by the children also. So the user interface designers design a website in a simple way that will be handled by everyone. And also they focus on the navigation items, then each and every element in the page and where they should be placed. So these are the main uh, role of user UI designers. So most of the people think that UX and UI are same, but they are totally different. So UX designer focus on the interactive designs. So first which page should come, and after that after signing up which page should come, like that. So telling about the UI designers, they focus on the visual design. For example, the color they use on the website, the icons they are using on the website, like that. So the UX designers then create the wireframes for a website, and information architect and the user research then scenarios for a particular application. And the UI developers focus on the colors and the graphic designing that are in the website, and the layout of a website, and the typography. Typography means the fonts that we are using in a website, particular website. So let me take this screen. It's a WhatsApp web. So in this, the UX designer for design from the starting point. For example, if you want to create an account on a WhatsApp, you first have to give your phone number, then the OTP will be sent to the uh, person's phone number. Then they will auto verify that number, and once you fill the basic additionals, then you will be taken to the home screen of the WhatsApp. So in this, the UI designer focus on where to fix this search button, and where to fix this status bar, this status icon, and the new chat and the settings. So the for example, if we place the search icon here, so no one will understand where to search for a particular item. So the the UX designer keep track on that items where that particular item should be placed in a web page. That's the role of UX designer. So let me see this screen. This is a screen I edited using that inspect element. In this, if some new users come to and use this web.whatsapp.com, they will never use this page hereafter, because the colors are very ugly, and here the search bar is not here. So if I want to search for example, if I want to text science and I want to scroll for up to 10 minutes to find this number, so it will be difficult for a user to search for a particular number. So UX designer keep track on this also, and make a user to use the application very easy. The steps involved in UX and UI design is there are totally 6 steps. One is research from users, then they build user persona, then create user stories, scenario, map and sitemap, and after that creating wireframes and interaction prototypes. And these 1 to 4 steps are involved in UX designing, and the steps 5 and 6, that UI visual designing and creating prototypes and the matrices analysis are involved in the UI designing. So the first step is a research. So the UX team will basically go to the street, and they will take a survey from the general people and also the stakeholders. Stakeholders are the persons who buy the product, and the users are just like you and me, who uses that particular application, software, or a web application, website. So they took a survey on some basic topics, and also keep track on the main objective of an app. For example, if we take WhatsApp, the main objective of WhatsApp is to make a chatting. So it's the basic objective of WhatsApp, and they will take a survey from the people and sort it of the points. What are they are telling? So it's not sure that all the points are good. So they will start out from the points they took and take the good points separately. So after that, they will use user persona as the second topic. From the survey taken, they choose the good opinions and also classify the users uh, regarding their age limits and some certain criteria. For example, in WhatsApp, there are two type of WhatsApp. One is normal WhatsApp, and another is WhatsApp business. So they will separate the applications according to the certain criteria. So that is user persona, and the next is user story and user flow. So the applications for the designers creating should be like a story. For example, uh, let me take our Peacon. For a Peacon, as I said before, first one I have to sign up in the Peacon and sign in, then OTP verification, then basic details, then uploading is basic, that is profile ID, then the profile pic and this profile ID. So it should be in a step-by-step process. So the user story, it means the step-by-step procedure is called user story. It should be in a same in a flow from top to bottom. So this is what is user story and user flow. So the next step is wireframes. Wireframes are the design created by UX designers. They create a rough diagram for a application and place it in a the display where they in a display like a mobile or the desktop. So in this, we will see that first he have to log in. Once log in, he will go to the home screen, or else he have to sign up. And once he sign up, then he will be go to the home screen. So like this, they will create a workflow, the procedure by procedure, like a mind map. And once they created the wireframe, they will give the wireframe designs to the UX designers. The UX designers make the UX design into life. They add the design to them, add colors, and have and add icons where the each icon should be present. Uh, that is the role of UI designers. Then once all the steps are completed, then the UI designs will be given to the UI developers. The UI developers, what they do is they basically convert the UI designs into UI designs into a app, application or software or a website. So once they design the once they design the application through coding, then they will launch the product in the market. So uh, we not sure say that yeah, application that created is 100% perfect. So once we launch the product in the market, we have to keep track on the product and want to take reviews from the users from like we done from the 1 to 5 steps. So but after that, once we launch the product, we should not take the same procedure from 1 to 5. We have to focus only on the defects on the product. So that is the final step of the UX and UI design. So many of us think is designer and UI designer are same, but the graphic designer and the UI designers are two streams. They are two different members. So graphic designer particularly work on the print or visual designs. For example, let me go to any garments. They will there they have we have graphic designers. They design the shirts and the printing items there. So the graphic designers work only on the designs. They never keep track on the how the flow will. They never want to track on the users for his product. So for UI designers, these are the people who work on the application medium. For this, uh, they will first keep track on the what is going on and what is the main objective of the app and how this should be developed. And the graphic designers uh, keep track on the promotion of a product. For example, if we have a product like if we for example, if we take a geo modem for that we have to make an advertisement in a website or newspapers. So the graphic designers take role in that part. For that UX UI designers, they develop a product like our Peacon, then WhatsApp, then Instagram, Facebook, like that. And the size of a frame should be very small, very big in case of graphic designer, and it will be the maximum size of the design will be only the desktop size for the UI designer. The graphic designers, there won't be anyone working before the graphic designers, but in case of UI designers, there will be a team, UX team, who work on who take survey on the users and make the list of what are the needs of the users. Then the applications that are used by the UX and UI designers are Balsamiq, Test, Adobe XD, Figma, Wireframe.cc, Framer, Webflow, InVision Studio, Craft, and Marvel. Above this, the Figma, Sketch, and Balsamiq and Adobe XD are the most used applications. So we can see the UI and UX designers everywhere now. We can see it in the mobile applications like WhatsApp, Instagram, Snapchat, like that. And some softwares we have the softwares we have like Peacon, it is a web application, and some software like Adobe XD. The software also the software development team also have a UX designers for creating that, and the website also. So thank you.
Okay, that's one serious topic that you discussed, Varun. And we are actually looking for people for UI and UX designers. So go ahead. Any questions? I guess. Shayan, Shruti, Anjali.
Varun, what is the relevance of typography? Can you explain?
Yes. So the heading of a content should be very big compared to the all other contents of
So
the page.
that is actually for something which is related to a very formal topic. Would you prefer a comedian that is like cursive format of writing, right? I don't remember the name of the font. So if you
Monotype
want something
Cursiva?
to be,
Monotype Cursiva?
yeah, maybe I mean all those fonts
Comic
which
Sans
are like
MS.
cursive.
Comic
Yeah.
Sans.
So I don't know
Shruti,
what the name is particularly, but yes.
Shruti, can you repeat your question?
What is the relevance of typography? She has a question. Typography in a website or a UI UX design. So
Okay,
that
so
is,
maybe I have the answer now. That's why I
yeah, you go ahead.
asked her to.
Yeah, you go ahead. We can have a short discussion about it.
I
Go
can
ahead.
just answer. So yeah. So basically, typography in UX and UI. Basically, typography is something which addresses our message. And I have myself been studying graphic designing since many days, and I've been learning about typography as well. So I'll try to answer your question. So basically, typography is something which addresses our message on to people. So there are many type of typographies. So basically, there are rules while you use typefaces. So relevancy a question that question can be answered in a way that say if there is so there is a typeface which is generally used for heading, so if it will be irrelevant to use it while you are writing paragraphs, so that way typography is taught to people who are learning UX designs or graphic designs, because the types are restricted to a particular thing, maybe they if they are headings or paragraphs. So that way you have to learn basically typography. This question can't be much answered in a proper way, because you should know the types and the typefaces to understand the relevancy of a particular typeface of in typography. So I hope I was able to answer, but yeah. Shruti, where are you?
Yes. I got it.
Maybe
Um,
we'll just discuss it later.
We have
yeah,
Anamika
sure.
also wanting to ask something, right?
Yes, sir. So a couple of my friends, they're doing the UI, XI, work. And what I got to know is for the research part, they use EDA, exploratory data analytics, to find out what's appealing to the users, in terms of graphics and all that stuff. So Varun, can you give us a little input on that, like the research part of UI, XI?
Yes. So let me take a example of food court app. So for a food court app, they what they do is they go to a certain malls. For if you go to a malls, then we will look for a table and it will be free for that time. But when we go to shop and go to buy our snacks, and when we return, the seats are allocated, occupied by some others. So for that, we are making a app. If we consider we are making an app, so for that we will go to that mall and ask the users they are in the place, and ask what are the troubles they are facing during the table booking, and what are the confusions they are having during purchasing a thing like that. So they will take surveys from directly from the users and also from the vendors.
But Varun, this is in terms of like physical products, right? You mentioned WhatsApp, similarly Facebook, Instagram. So how do they use UIXI
So basic,
research?
uh, I would like to answer that. Basically, what happens in case of Facebook, WhatsApp, we have hotspots. Okay, hotspots in our apps, right? Wherever you click on a app, we get the data for that. Let's say we are developing slowly. We are getting into an application of Peacon. So once the application of Peacon will be ready, and once we launch it to the public, what will happen? We will get exact information that a person, what time he is logging into the system, which part he is clicking, which page is he staying for long, and so on and so on. Right? At this point of time, we have the data that which page is being used by you people at what time, at what point, and what are the data you guys are accessing. So that is a relevant information with which we can identify ki this data is relevant to you and which data is not relevant to you. The same structure is used by everyone else. Let's say in case of Facebook, you click on the search bar. So every time you click on the search bar, Facebook records the data ki a search bar is being used, and it records it. The place where the search bar is, if Facebook, let's say it is on the top, right, on the Facebook app. Let's say Facebook moves the search bar into the bottom for a minute, and then Facebook will again record the data ki what is the update, how many times people are you clicking on the search bar which is at the bottom. So this is how they get the data analytics. It is how data prediction is done, right? And this data ultimately compiles, and the AI compiles the whole data and gives a prediction these days of how to develop the app more better, how to make it more user friendly and more user interactive. In case of all the applications that you see, if even if any single app that is there on your what do you call it, phone, okay, you are sending enormous amount of data to the source provider, and they are taking the data and using it, and using it to basically develop themselves. This process was introduced by Microsoft in 2003 when they initially launched Windows XP, this second version, Service Pack 2. They were collecting, you get an option, right? Key anonymous data. Do you want to send usage report to the server? So this is basically the data that they are talking about, the data they are going to collect to basically develop themselves. You're getting my point, Anamika? So that is how they go on and they collect the data, develop themselves, and ultimately get a better version of Facebook, or maybe a better operating system like we have right now, Windows 10.
Yes.
Each and every click, it's something like a keylogger. Each and every click can be logged. Each and every point, each and every touch, each and every text that you type, everything can be logged. Me as a developer, I'm telling you, if you use one of my apps, I can tell you whatever you're doing on your phone.
So may
So
I?
it's that serious. Yeah, Vedu. Acha, I didn't see
Sir,
your
I had
hand.
actually done the presentation of data mining, so I know a little bit about EDA. So as
Yeah.
EDA, exploratory data analysis, is actually an approach of analyzing the data collected and summarizing in a way that we get the basic idea of what we are doing in a visual manner, with
Exactly.
graphs, bars, bar charts, whatever we have different types of illustrations. Through that, we can actually identify what are the different activities done by a certain person, and yeah, so we get to know the main characteristics of the data.
Basically, we are getting into a technological era when everything is run by computers, everything is run by software. The coders run the world almost, right? So we starting from a dam to a phone to anything that you can imagine. Somewhere we coders are there, and what we do basically, we collect the analytical data of that. Wherever the mouse is being kept on a web page, I can track the data. I can give you the data key. This part, the person is keeping his cursor for a longer time. So this data is very useful. I can make that part more illustrative, more interactive. Maybe I can put in some cartoons over there so that the people get interested. They can put in Doraemon or Shinchan over there to make the things more interesting. So it's like something like that. It works out like that.
So this is where I think big data comes into play.
Big data comes into play. Thank you.
And Hadoop
I
after
miss
that.
the term. I miss the term for good reasons. Big data is बड़ा data ना, हम लोग छोटा data में बात कर रहे हैं.
And Hadoop also is something similar, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah.
Okay.
We are not getting into details of it, Vidhu. We'll get it on,
Okay,
get
sir.
onto it.
We can
We
have
are not
that as
going.
the next session. It's quite interesting because right now, everyone I ask, technical or non-technical, they're getting into data science, data analytics, because it's the next big thing. So it's a very
it's not just a
interesting
big thing.
topic.
It's actually a very interesting science. It's very interesting. It's like a new wing of science. We used to learn physics, chemistry, maths, biology. Now we have data, right? So no one, मतलब बचपन में हम लोग सोचे नहीं थे कि data science भी एक subject हो सकता है. So these days I know people in US, they are studying data science literally from 12th grade, 11th grade, 8th grade. Okay, they are studying that and they are learning it. They are learning how to use algorithms, how to use data mechanics to predict data, right? So how data will perform, how, and like let's say I am speaking like this. So this is my general pattern. I speak like this. So this data can be used just to create a copy of myself. A robot or something, a code that can actually replicate my copy, right? A data is going to record that, right? There was this thing a few years back, text robotics, right? And things were so interesting. Even if you say, let's say hello, there was a code. I don't remember the name of the person who designed it, but this guy, Avatar, who designed, what was his name, the director's name? Cameron, right?
The $2 billion
Cameron,
movie.
Yes,
Avatar.
Cameron.
James Cameron, is it? I don't remember his name.
Yeah.
He was so inspired with this robotics thing. He literally developed the movie out of it. So the big budget movie. So it's not a big data, it's big budget movie. So everything is interlinked and it develops, right? So we can understand how data can play a role. The computers understood how a person reacts. They inputted the data into the system and they created illustration figures which actually moved according to a human being. They predicted like a human being. They literally jumped like a human being. So this is how data science can do. Yeah.
So we went off topic altogether. Sorry,
Yeah.
Varun, sorry for that.
Yeah. I guess one is okay with that.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Varun. Thank you, Udu.
Yeah, Varun. Varun, are you there?
Yeah, yes, I.
Yeah. Is there any medium which can replace the UI, UX with the same features?
Same features in the sense.
Yeah.
What is Adit is asking is there any way we can replace UI UX with some other technology?
Yes, yes.
So I don't know.
So that is not a good way to answer it. Adit, technically speaking, at this point of time, UI UX is a set. We learned sets in mathematics, right? It's a set. It's a an overall structure of a system. So it is going to work like that, and it's like a whole domain of a system. It's not a specific technology that we are talking about, right? You today in UI UX you are going to use PHP, maybe HTML, HTML5, HTML Canvas, JavaScript node, JS query. There are lots of things, right? Angular JS. There are loads of things. Tomorrow something might new come up. New code or new scripting languages will pop up. But the way you're thinking, okay, you're not going to change English, right? How can you change English? You can write new novels in it. It's like a new novel. It's like a new book that you write. You're getting my point?
Yes, sir.
So it is going to work like that. So any more queries, sir?
No queries as such, because there's a lot of UI and all we keep seeing in our system also. So it's a major issue. In fact, the next meeting that we're going to have is on UI only, so to speak. But yeah, Varun enthusiasm. Varun, that's one thing. If they were scored, there were points for enthusiasm. Varun will always score high on that. He's always enthusiastic, always there. Nice to see you speaking.
Is there a major difference, or if there is a major difference, what is the difference between web developer or web designer and UX and UI designer? Varun, if you can answer, or else I would like sir to answer this.
The designer means they will design only the part and where they place their icons and where they want to place the names like that. So in case of developers, they will write the codes for the design. That's the difference between them.
Amruta, you have seen a 50 rupee note? Mine one is a bit torn. Have you seen a 50 rupees note?
Yes, sir. No, sir. Sorry. The new one I haven't seen.
Do you know who designed it?
The note?
Yeah,
No.
I also
I
don't know. But I know which country it is from. It's from India. We can identify, right? It is written over here, Bharat,
Yeah.
right? So basically
Yeah.
what happens, I don't know, I am giving a very weird example. I know people are getting astonished with this example, I know. But you have to understand the designer's work is just to make the design, right? The design, the frame, how the 50 rupee note is supposed to come up. Maybe the website is supposed to come up. It is not his responsibility to make the note. We have a lot of features in the note, right? We have this, what do you call it, in simple terms, we have this strip over here, right? You see the strip, there is a strip in all the notes that we have that actually evaluates the note, right? There are many factors which makes the note genuine, right? So there are a lot of factors which points out when a note is ultimately being properly designed for public use, right? So graphical design or any designs that is being done on the primary basis, that is what is the job of a designer or maybe a website designer. And the UI UX designer basically works on the features, the detailed features, which actually makes the node viable. राइट अगर कोई भी मतलब आप अगर एक 50 रुपीज का नोट हम भी जेरोक्स लगा के निकाल सकते हैं बट दैट नोट वोंट बी वैलिड isn't it? And you know the you know the reasons why, right? Because that note won't be genuine. It is not going to have that strip. It is not going to ultimately count as a monetary thing, right? So that is the reason, and that is a place where it separates out the designer and the UI UX designer. The UI UX designer, they are going to look into that strip. They are going to look into that what do you call it, watermark. They are going to look into that small details which actually makes the note perfectly genuine. Or maybe you can say perfectly visible, perfectly, in case of a website, it should be perfectly viewable. The user should be happy to see the product, ultimate website. But in case of a designer, he should not be bothered about the design. He should not be bothered about the user. It's his job or her job to just make the design, the framework, and pass it on to the UI UX people so that they can develop it further. I guess that explains it.
Basically web designer ही only मतलब web designer ही web developer होता है. It's just the same, right?
Actually नहीं है, technically ये words different इसलिए है. Web designer is basically the person who makes out the frame, right? The design, color design, color combination, छोटा छोटा designs बनाता है, right? और developer वो होता है जैसे शायन है, he creates the codes but he doesn't work on the designs. ठीक है? I have Shruti here who can actually make designs, right? But she doesn't design, she makes codes. So that is something different. So getting my point?
Yeah. Sort of. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, I was not expecting a sort of answer. So, is it clear to you, or do
I'll
you
have
want me
to
to
go
elaborate?
deeper to learn. Yeah, I got a basic outline, but still I'll have to like study
Okay, if you have any
further.
confusions, we
Because
can
I am
discuss further.
myself doing these things now, so I should be knowing ना कि इनका major difference क्या है इसीलिए.
मेजर डिफरेंस ये है,
Yes, sir.
कोई चाय का पत्ता क्या कहते हैं रोस्ट करता है और कोई अल्टीमेटली घर में चाय बनाता है.
अच्छा.
अल्टीमेटली घर में जो चाय बनाता है वो है अल्टीमेट यूआई यूएक्स डिजाइनर, जिसको पता है कि कितना चीनी देना है, कितना दूध देना है, कितना पानी देना है, तब जाके चाय बनेगा परफेक्ट वाला. ठीक है, विद दैट अरोमा एंड दैट टेस्ट. और जो चाय रोस्ट करता है उसको क्या फर्क है, उसको पता है मैं चाय बना रहा हूँ यार, मैं चाय बना रहा हूँ, अल्टीमेटली कोई ना कोई कंज्यूम करेगा. कैसे कंज्यूम करेगा, ही इज नॉट बॉदर्ड.
Okay. Okay.
यू गेटिंग माय पॉइंट?
Yes, sir.
So I guess still there is a lot of gray area, but we'll work on that. If you have any queries, you can get on that with me. Adit, Anamika,
Yes,
you have?
Yeah, sir. Anamika, do you want to add something?
Yeah.
Sir, I had a question. We're seeing a lot of, now that big data is here, and we're seeing a lot of change on all the websites that we visit. So what are some of the current trends that the designers and the developers are leaning
Trends as
towards?
in? Trends as in what do you want to ask exactly?
Like what are the new features that are coming up in the market that's making things much easier that we didn't have a couple years back?
Basically, the new feature. See, when we were young, we used to learn computers, and in types of computers, I used to write that what are the types of computers. There are laptops, there are desktops, there are tablets, and there are palm tops. Now palm tops is basically our phone. Right? Previously we could only sign on palm tops. Now we can play games, we can do a hell lot of things on palm tops. Right? And same with the tablets. Previously a tablet use was there on the door just to see who was outside the door. Right? There is this door lock system some people had in their houses. एक button press करने से उल्टा side में कौन है दिखता था. There was a camera. So that was tablets. Now we have a tablet with which we can actually watch Netflix movies, right? So the things have developed far beyond our imaginations. And as per the technology is moving forward, we are actually going to see a trend wherein we are going to be more mobile. More mobile devices are going to come down. Okay, more mobile devices are going to be used, and they are going to be developed further. And the basic trend that you're going to see everywhere is your systems are going to be mobile friendly. Right, this is a huge change that is the UI UX designers are bringing into play, because 90% people used to have computers. Even I also used to design websites for people relevant to computers. I remember the first website design sir talks about that I made for Adobe. Sir also knows that it was not mobile friendly that much, but now the design that is there is quite a bit mobile friendly. I'm working on it. I'm trying to develop it more further. My team Shubham is working on it dedicatedly. But yeah, so this is the difference. Now I'm also trying to get into apps so that Adobe gets more relevance. People should get a chance to download the app and do their activities and stuff. In case of you, I guess that would make a relevance for you. And for other things also, you're going to see that the technology that is there with the big data into play, the users which were actually 70 to 30 ratio, 70 people used to use laptops or computers. Now it has almost reversed. Now 70 people use mobiles and 30 people use laptop for browsing. Right? I know people who tell me that अरे आधा काम तो मोबाइल में हो जाता, तुम लैपटॉप लेके क्यों घूमता है? ठीक है, तो इट्स समथिंग लाइक दैट. कैनवा भी मोबाइल में हो जाता है, फोटोशॉप भी मोबाइल में हो जाता है, सब मोबाइल में हो जाता है, बट लैपटॉप लेके क्यों घूमते? बट it's like that only. It's supposed to be like that. Things are developing. I know people who code in mobile. I sometimes do it. When I am on a run, I am maybe biking or something, I do my stuff on my phone and I get it done. So that is how. That is a new trend that you're going to see, and all the designs that you're going to see is going to be, what do you call it, responsive now. Right? It is going to adjust to the screen. It is going to be, it is some way you can say that it is going to become intelligent. The designs are going to become intelligent.
So thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions more?
Yeah, there is a question. Okay. Oh, it's not a question, it's a discussion. Okay. Yeah, Himanshu. It's a very interesting thing. There are actually multiple formats, not just vintage polygon or soft format. There are other formats also which we can work on. Okay. There are static formats. There are doubling formats. Okay. There are monotype formats. There are multi-type formats. There are several types of formats. And these formats are relevant. They are based on the color combination and the, what do you call it, color framing. Okay. And based on the positioning of things. What do you call it, positioning of the elements, the video elements, the audio elements, the pictures, the text. Every positioning of any design, any specific design is going to get into, what do you call it, designing format. So yeah, that's how it is going to work. Thank you, sir. Namika, any question, I guess? You have your hands up again.
Oh, it was up. I'll put it down. Sorry, sir. Sorry.
Vedu, you have something to say?
Yes, sir. So I think we have discussed about SEO, search engine optimization regarding websites, but it also works on YouTube to attract more,
Yeah, that is, in that case, Amruta, you're there still?
Yes, sir. Yes, I'm there.
You want to shed light on that, or should I do it?
Vidu, can you just repeat your questions once again?
Yeah, so I was talking about that the search engine optimization works for websites, but it also works for YouTube channel as well to attract a lot of viewers. So how does that work, and what are the main things related to that?
So yeah, I've been studying about YouTube and Vimeo SEO, but I think if sir will put the light, so it will be better for now. So passing the mic to you.
Amruta?
Sir? Yes, sir. So I said ki, yeah, I've been studying, but I cannot, I think, answer better than you.
Basically,
so
what
please, sir,
happens in case of YouTube video, See, there is a thing like क्या होता है ना, अपना घर में अगर कोई सामान ढूंढना होता है, ठीक है, it's very simple because you know where the utensils are kept, where the things are kept, where the kitchen is there, where the washroom is there, where you go and sleep, where you gaze on the stars. It's very simple, right? In case of YouTube, the basic system is system that works is internal linking, right? There is a thing called internal linking system. Like backlinks, it is internal linking system, and based on the linking, internal linkings, right, what happens, the search engine, the Google search engine passes on the data of internal linking, external backlinks to this YouTube channels, right? YouTube post, YouTube videos that you see. And let's say, let's take a basic example. Let's explain the example very soon. I think this video that we are recording, it is going to come up on YouTube. And there are two keywords that we are going to use. One is SEO and second one is UI UX. So these two keywords, if we basically go ahead and search for SEO on Google, what will happen? Some way or the other, the search engine, the Google search engine is going to connect relevant information wherever, let's say, we post this, share the data everywhere on the other channels, other pages, other, let's say, Quora or other places. That data is going to get connected with the YouTube database. We do data search or data algorithm, and it is going to ultimately provide the relevant data to the people. Like, let's say this video, we share it over, let's say, 50 people, 50 websites on a stretch with the same keyword, right? And it is going ultimately on YouTube. You are going to see that since it has been relevantly properly shared, the video is going to come up to the relevant people, like the subscribers who have shown interest in SEO. They are going to see our video very first, right? There is this bell icon. There is a reason the bell icon is there. Whenever there is a subscription is done, whenever a post is done, there is a thing called RSS feed, right? You have to learn about RSS feed. So this RSS feed is basically responsible for putting at the rankings in YouTube and other stuff. What happens in these ranks gets connected. They are all interconnected on the Google search engine algorithm, and it connects each other and ultimately gives you the result. And that's how the video or anything that is trending on YouTube, you can see they basically get trending because of this. Most of the people who view it, they subscribe it on RSS feed, and they increase on the viewing ratings. Right? This is how it works on YouTube. It works on Vimeo. It used to work on MetaCafe. MetaCafe is not a popular website these days, but we used to have a lot of fun on that MetaCafe, and a lot of websites are there. In fact, the first website, High Five, where MySpace, High Five, these social websites are basically based on this kind of technology. This is a primitive technology which YouTube and other video searching websites still uses, but yeah, that is still there.
So, sir, I gathered that from this, I gathered that the more attractive the name is, the more it will get viewers, or sort of.
Yeah, somewhat. It's not like that actually. In the more attractive the name is, the more places you promote the name, the more proper keyword organizing or organic mapping you do with the video. It is going to give you more results, more relevant results, and your video is going to come up on the top.
Or the hashtags, which are most popular on the...
Yeah. Hashtags is basically the keywords. Technically they are keywords, but interestingly we have given it a new name, that is hashtags. It was given in 2013 by Mark Zuckerberg. He was a very interesting person. He gave the name hashtags.
Sir, I said that because while giving the title to a video, there are different criteria: description, title, and above that we give hashtag or something like that. So there are
that is basically the header keywords. Hashtags are basically the header keywords. So if you put anything on the hashtags, and if you let's say you on a YouTube video or anywhere, you put a hashtag and you go to the you save it out, okay, and you ultimately view the basic console of the page, you will see that the hashtag is basically turns into a keyword, and it is on the top of the body, the head keywords. You'll find it there.
Okay, sir. I gathered some information from that.
You have okay. So
the about the keywords, there are Google algorithm PDFs. Maybe if someone goes in, if someone wants to learn about it deeper, they can just read those algorithms
Yeah.
of Google. They have
Algorithm, see,
very,
it's like learning algebra without knowing ABCDs. Like it's not. Let's not confuse with algorithms. Let's try and watch more relevant videos. I guess that will be more interesting to understand how the system works. What do you say?
yeah.
You
So,
can't learn algebra before knowing 1 plus 1 2. You have to learn 1 plus 1 2 plus first.
yeah,
So
I think I was just yes.
algorithm is a huge thing. The name only, I know. When I was in class 10 or 9.5, I used to be frightened by the term. What is algorithms? I never got into it. First designs I made for people, I used to make it in HTML, basic HTML designs. Okay, and people used to be so happy with their websites. That is to motivate me. But now I know what is algorithms, and it's very useful of a thing. So let's not push people into it. Let's learn it the other way around. Okay. Okay. We are done with it.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everybody, for making time for the session. We shall meet again in the same room where more such gripping topics are waiting.